compañeras, comrades, confidantes, compañeros all. When the enemies we must confront come from deep within, and we call traitors, uncles, brothers, fathers, friends, when our foes assume the faces of our aunts, mothers, sisters, cousins, and next of kin, and they would rather sell our remaining legacies, forsake and forget our shared histories, cause us more injuries than good, would rather we stood with them than they stand with us.
My name is Sharelly Emanuelson, and I'm an artist and filmmaker. It is really an honor to see the work being shown at NEXUS in Taiwan, and I hope it sparks connections. I started making installations in a moment that I no longer believed that film was the only medium that could help me bring forth narratives and stories that I wanted to tell.
I myself can't see it yet as being a country. It's not a country, and I just tell any one of those parliamentarian or ministers, and they get in contact with me, they just have it out with me because I just tell them, I say, listen to me, stop going on the television and on radio and telling people about country, St. Martin. We are not a country. I said, what do you mean? We have country status. I said, oh, you have country status, but you're not a country. I said, you know, it's so hard for me to understand most of you who have PhD, MD, and all the Dees, and I say, but none of you don't have common sense. Holland was glad to get rid of all you.
This way of working also helped me in my journey to understanding what this thing called kingdom was that I was a part of, or at least was told to be a part of. It's really about the tangible that I'm presenting, creating really a soundscape that you could encounter and experience on a daily basis in the Caribbean, in this case, St. Martin. So offering a space, opening it up, but also inviting others to also make their own assemblage and construct their own narrative, to find commonalities as much as difference is one of my attempts with this work.
Here follows the other problem with the word post-colonial, because for us the colonial period never really ended, since we are still a colony. Whether you dress it up in a nice term called land, translated into English, territory or land or country, and that's another big problem, because it always begins from the Dutch definition, and that for me is already where the problem is. And then based on the context of the Dutch meaning, they try to find an English equivalent. And the word land really is problematic for us in St. Martin.
The difference, the way I employ it, and I don't know how you employ it, difference to me is radically undone of a day, of a group. The moment someone puts me in a group is the moment someone, in my opinion, is being racist, because racism is the denial of my difference.
She was saying we're moving into this tourism like the last resort, and that in itself is so dangerous to our group. Because everything we do right now, you'd be interviewing me because you want to do something for the tourists. Or if I play guitar, it's for the tourists. And if I want to open this bar here, it's for the tourists. And if I make a movie, it's for the tourists. And nobody wants to sew or to plant anybody. Everybody wants to be taxi drivers, she was saying.
And guess what model they were given? Best thing to be is like a Dutchman. The best thing you can do is be like a Dutchman and you'll succeed. That was the message over and over and over again.
And really what I'm looking for is to have the audience experience the tangible that is being presented in that moment. By going beyond filmmaking, I knew that representation by recording what I saw alone was not giving the multiplicity and the coexistence of perspectives that exist. The work Ciudadanos talks about citizenship in a Dutch Caribbean island called St. Martin, and presents us with a cacophonic or polyphonic interpretations of the experience, knowledge, history, and narratives.
And after the hotel opened, the people were told by some people in government, you don't need to plant anymore because you're going to get dollars, you're going to work for dollars. And people hang on to that up till today.